Um, Before we go any further, I'll just ask people to introduce themselves so you know who we are. So I'm Councillor Rick Cheadle. I chair the Development Management and Licensing Committee.
Councillor Terry Southcott, I'm vice chair of this committee.
And Councillor Caroline Mott, I'm also on the DM and Licensing Committee.
Amy Stacey, Licensing Officer.
Harry Leonas, Licensing Officer.
Hall, Democratic Services Officer.
Alan Parr, Legal Officer. I'm legal advisor to the committee, but I take no part in the decision-making process.
If you could just press.
My name is Mark Loftus-Calvert. I'm a Chief Immigration Officer with Home Office Immigration Enforcement.
Robert Pannell, Immigration Officer based for South Central ICE team at Plymouth.
My name is Tazia Roman from Ockhampton, Rajput Indian Restaurant.
In accordance with our code of conduct, members are invited to declare any disclosable pecuniary interests, other registrable interests and non-registrable interests, including the nature and extent of such interests they may have in any item to be considered at this meeting. So do you have anything to declare?
Nothing to declare.
Nothing to declare, Chair.
Thank you. The application in front of us today is a review of the premises license for Rajput Restaurant Bridge House, 25 4th Street, Oakhampton. And I just want to explain the way this committee works. We'll hear in the first instance from the licensing officer, who will sort of set out the case and why we're here today. I will then ask the Home Office for their input to this case. I will then ask you if you've got anything you wish to say. Once we've heard from everyone, we will withdraw to consider what we've heard, and we'll ask you to stay here, and then we'll come back in and let you know what our decision is. Are you happy with that? Good, thank you. Okay, well, I'll now ask the case officer to open the case.
Thank you, Chairman. On the 20th of February 2024, the Licensing Authority received an application for the review of the premises licence for Rajput 25 4th Street, Oakhampton, from Home Office Immigration Enforcement. Immigration Enforcement became a responsible authority under the Licensing Act 2003 and 2016. You'll have seen a copy of the review application, which is at Appendix A of your papers. As you will have read, the grounds for the review are that the premises licence holder has failed to meet the licensing objective of prevention of crime and disorder due to illegal working having been found taking place at the premises when visited by immigration enforcement officers on the 8th of June 2024, in addition to 3 other previous occasions which have occurred since June 2016. 2023, sorry. The prevention of crime and disorder is one of the 4 licensing objectives upon which the licensing regime is based, and the licensing authority must be satisfied that the premises license holder promotes the 4 licensing objectives at all times. This would include taking all possible steps to prevent crime and disorder from taking place at the premises. Premises license in place at the premises permits the sale of alcohol for consumption on and off the premises, plays, live music, recorded music and performance of dance indoors, and the provision of late night refreshment both on and off the premises. There are conditions on the licence which restrict alcohol sales only to those who partake in a table meal or as ancillary to a takeaway meal. There are currently very few conditions on the licence which specifically address the 4 licensing objectives. During the consultation period, no further representations were received from any of the responsible authorities or any other persons. The issue of the immigration offences are the sole consideration for this review application. The review pack, which has been provided to us from the immigration enforcement team, gives further details about the findings of the immigration officers on the evening of their visit, as well as the history of previous visits to the premises. And representatives of the immigration team are here today to confirm the details for you and to clarify anything further. The options available following a review hearing are detailed in your recommendations at section 1 of the report. You have the option to modify conditions of the licence. You can exclude a licence by activity from the scope of the licence. You could remove the designated premises supervisor. You can suspend the licence for a period not exceeding 3 months, or you can revoke the licence. And obviously, you could decide to take no action at all. Where the authority decides to take steps to either modify the conditions of the licence or to exclude a licence by activity, you might provide that the modification or exclusion is to have effect permanently or for a period of time not exceeding 3 months that you specify. When you make your decision, regard must be given to the statutory guidance issued under Section 182 of the Licensing Act and the West Devon Licensing Policy. And I have included in the report some of the more pertinent sections of both documents for use. And just a reminder that the decision today must be based on the impact that the continuation of licensable activities at the premises will have on the 4 licensing objectives, which are prevention of crime and disorder, public safety, prevention of public nuisance, and the protection of children from harm, and no other issues can be taken into consideration. Thank you.
Committee have any questions they want to ask the licensing officer? Vote. I'll now turn to the Home Office and ask you for your statement, please.
I don't propose to read through the full pack, but what I'll do is I'll look to make a couple of key points before we summarise the case. Oh, my apologies. Is that better? Noted, thank you. Okay. Of course. So the ability to work illegally is a key driver of illegal migration. It encourages people to break UK's immigration laws and provides the practical means for migrants to remain unlawfully in the UK. It encourages people to take risks in trying to enter the UK illegally by putting their lives in the hands of unscrupulous people smugglers and leaves them vulnerable to exploitative employers. Illegal working results in businesses that are not playing by the rules and are undercutting legitimate businesses that are. It also negatively impacts on the wages of lawful workers and can be linked to other labour market abuse such as tax evasion, breach of the national minimum wage and exploitative working conditions. Working illegally is a criminal offence, and on conviction in England and Wales, an illegal worker may receive a custodial sentence of up to 6 months and an unlimited fine. Employing illegal workers undermines the licensing objectives, specifically the prevention of crime and disorder. Immigration enforcement do not just look at random for businesses to target. We are intelligence-led and there have to be significant concerns for us to action incoming intelligence. We also do not routinely refer to seek to a licence review, but do so in selected cases where we have heightened concerns. In the case of the Rajput, we have, on the instance which we are discussing, we have 4 people who were working illegally. Immigration enforcement had received an allegation of illegal workers being employed at the Rajput. As a result, an enforcement team visited the premises on the 8th of June 2023. Immigration officers obtained entry to the Rajput via a Section 10 warrant to search for a named offender who was suspected to be there working in breach of his bail conditions, no permission to work, which were imposed by the Home Office. During this visit, 9 staff were encountered. 4 staff, including the suspect of the visit, were found to be working without permission to do so in the UK. In light of the events, an illegal working closure notice was served on the business immediately. On the 9th of June 2023, 2 immigration officers attended Plymouth Magistrates Court to apply for an illegal working compliance order. This was granted by the court for a period of 12 months. An illegal working closure order allows the Home Office to quickly close a business premises where illegal working is being conducted, and there is a history of illegal working. Noted previous non-compliance with sections 15 and 21 of the Immigration, Asylum and Nationality Act 2006. This places an employer under a compliance regime as directed by the court to prevent an employer from operating at the premises from employing illegal workers. The illegal working closure order was granted after careful consideration by the Plymouth Magistrate Court and is further evidence to show that another authority has supported the Home Office position that illegal working has taken place and that the business has contravened laws to prevent illegal working. In addition, a civil penalty notice was served on Mr. Rahman, and a civil penalty was awarded of £80,000, and that was issued in respect to the 4 workers found during that visit. Now, of those 4 workers, the first worker that was encountered, Mr. Rahman was asked if he knew that the person had no permission to work in the UK. He responded, he's got a 20-hour work permit, he's got a card, but I haven't checked it. He also stated it was hard to get people to work at the Rajput and that he had to take those available. The second worker, Mr. Rahman, admitted that he had not done any right to work checks on that person. Of the third person, he said, Mr. Rahman said, he has 20 hours per week on his work permit. He showed me his asylum card. Mr. Rahman could not recall if the asylum card had any restrictions regarding work attached to it. The fourth worker had been working, according to Mr. Rahman, at the Rajput for 7 years. And when asked how he was paid, he replied, free accommodation, free food, sometimes £20 in expenses. Mr. Rahman admitted that he is aware that that person does not have the right to work in the UK. Since 2016, a total of 14 people have been found to be working without the requisite permission at the Rajput. Civil penalties totaling £215,000 have not been paid by Mr. Rahman. Civil penalties appear not to offer a deterrent in themselves to prevent Mr. Rahman from employing workers illegally. So what we would like to see is the following. Section 182 guidance at point 11.27 outlines certain criminal activity that may arise in connection with licensed premises and should be treated particularly seriously. This includes employing a person who is disqualified from that work by reason of their immigration status in the UK. Point 11.28 states where a review arises from such activity and the licensing authority determines that the crime prevention objective is being undermined through the premises being used to further crimes, it is expected that the revocation of the license, even in the first instance, should be seriously considered. All that being said, we recognise that our role is to bring these concerns to your attention as the local licensing authority. It's your area and it's you that answer to the electorate and represent the interests of local people. In line with the guidance, the Home Office Immigration Enforcement is seeking the subcommittee to consider revoking the premises licence. Thank you very much for your time.
Have you got any questions you wish to ask at this stage? Okay, thank you. I mean, the only point I would make is we are a licensing committee and our reach, if you like, is only to consider licensing issues, not other issues that may be associated with what you've said. Okay, so no further questions for the?
Not at this moment, Chair. Thank you.
Well, we've heard from the case officer and the Home Office. Raman, have you got anything you'd like to say? Could you press the? Thank you.
I cannot remember. I said 4 people is illegally working there or not. I don't remember. Sorry.
Chair, the respondent should be given the opportunity to ask the Home Office officers any questions before he makes his representations.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Is there anything you wish to ask the Home Office?
I mean, I spoke to them anyway. They say, they since 2023, was there. They was there. They said to me, everything. They have been visited since 5 times. My premises.
Sorry, Chair. First of all, does he have any questions he wishes to ask the Home Office?
No, I haven't got no question.
Not make a representation, and then
No.
following that, he can then make a representation.
Okay, now Mr. Rahman has said he has no questions directly for the Home Office on their statement. So carry on, please.
In 2020, since they come last time they visited my place 5 times, which is every 2 months. They're supposed to go every 2 months, but they visited 5 times in total, and they never find nobody. I promised them, I said to them, I promise you, we're going to keep illegal worker. If I find not legal worker, I'll close the shops. And did they know that or no? He knows that anyway, this guy. I mean, I told him few times, we got all the record, we got everything sorted. We told them, we're gonna keep the up to date to you. We did it, we done it. And last 5 times they have been there, they find no illegal people in my premises. That's my question. And why one of the restaurant will be selected? Can they go anywhere else? The only place they go in only Oakhampton. I can challenge you. You can find every single day illegal people working. Why they selecting my shops only?
I can't answer those questions.
I know, I understand, sir.
We're
Sorry,
here
thank
to
you.
discuss the Rajput case.
Yeah, I
not
understand,
others.
sir. So they have been to my place 5 times since the court order. They never find nobody.
Is that all you wish to say at this
Yeah,
stage?
that's what I should. And this is my only shops I've got. I've got bread and butter. I've got kids. My family born in Oakhampton. If my children go to Oakhampton school, I don't want to lose my license. I mean, lose the premises license. That means we are done and dusted, sir. And they knows that. We told them. We explained to them few times, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Would the Home Office like to address any of those points?
Sorry.
Yes, thank you, Chair. The reason we're visiting the Rajput on a bi-monthly basis is because that's a part of the extant order that was put in on the review that was put on the compliance order. So that's why we have to go. It's in statute that we have to visit. And in December 2023, whilst the extant order was in place, another referral was made where we found a worker there which had to be arrested at that time. And another civil penalty was invoked as a part of that. The Home Office doesn't go out and then get involved in unnecessarily restricting genuine community services. So we're not looking to close pubs and clubs or restaurants or whatever it might be. We only ever attend on intelligence-led. That's it. Someone has to tell us that is happening. We have to we, the officers that attend, do not know the genesis of that intelligence. It comes to us, it's graded, it's put through a washing process, and we go when we visit. And we visit from Weymouth to Land's End. We cover the whole area. This is not personal. It's not directed at Mr. Rahman or the Rajput. It is intelligence-led. We have been going there since 2016. They've had multiple breaches. I know it's not for this committee, but the civil penalties of over £200,000 remain. The Home Office chooses to do breaches by the way of civil penalties. We're not in control of that, and there are outside agencies which make the collection. If this was public order offences, if this was breaches of the peace, I'm sure this would have been through this licensing committee far quicker than that. We are requesting the licensing committee just to consider the licensed premise and take action where they think is necessary.
Okay, I think we've heard from the case officer, the Home Office, and the applicant. Any final questions for members of the committee? Thank you, Mr. Any questions from the members of the committee before we adjourn? Relevant to this?
No, thank you, Chair.
Okay, Mr. Rahman, I'd ask you to stay put, and we're going to adjourn, consider what we've listened to, and come back and let you know what we think.
what you're doing is you're
just
stopping,
stopping being able
stopping
to
the
sell
music.
alcohol and
So-
it was more to. The license.
Can I just check? That's what I thought.
Thank you all for bearing with us while we had our discussion about this case. I'm now ready to read out our conclusions. We are here to consider the prevention of crime and disorder in association with the licensing arrangements of this premises. We're concerned about the continued employment of illegal workers at the establishment. We have therefore concluded that we should remove the designated premises supervisor and revoke the license with immediate effect, which we confirmed in writing, and you have 21 days to appeal against this decision to a magistrate's court. That concludes the licensing committee.